Welcome to Making Money with Laura Sanders, a name you can trust. With over 20 years of real estate experience and selling over 150 homes a year, Laura Sanders is the #1 RE/MAX agent in the state of Florida for 2021. Join us each week as we discuss how to make money through buying and flipping homes to renting versus selling and everything in between. To join the conversation, call in live 888-994-4995, Studio A.
Hi, and welcome to Making Money with Laura Sanders, and I am your host, Laura Sanders. I'm a local realtor with RE/MAX and have been for over 22 years as the #1 rated RE/MAX agent in the state of Florida for the last several years on and off. I can definitely help you to save some money when you're selling, when you're buying, and help to guide you in the process to make sure that you're not getting taken advantage of. So if you're thinking about buying or selling a home, give me a call at 954-650-0827. But moving on now, Title Brothers, Josh Weisman, he is one of our sponsors, and we're here today to talk about, I think insurance would be a good topic to talk about today because we're really in a bad situation right now, and seems like it's really just Florida for the most part. Is that true, or?
Yeah, there's just a lot of floating questions out there. Homeowners getting notices in the mail regarding, is there coverage? They're not going to get coverage anymore. Maybe they have to switch to another coverage. So people are just very confused, and a lot of the carriers, the insurance companies that have worked in Florida are nervous now just based on flood zones and where people think South Florida is going, and they think it's going underwater in the near future.
Actually, so it's funny, I'm from New York and you're from New York, but you're a little bit more newer from New York. I've been here about 34 years. You're a little more like, what, in the last couple of years?
I
you
moved
lived
back
here, but then you went to college and came back.
Right, moved back here 4 years ago, yeah.
Right. So it's funny when I'm showing a home on a lake, which the cities are able to actually reduce the water in the lakes, right? But when I'm showing, a lot of times, especially people from other states like New York, they kind of freak out and they're like, oh my God, is that going to come into the house? I'm like, no, they're going to reduce it when they know that a storm's coming.
Right.
Because we pretty much always know when a storm's coming or we're going to have floods or what have you. So I just find that funny. But
the intercoastal is a little bit different.
We can't reduce the intercoastal. So that's where you really need to worry. So
yeah, and if you even see parts of the coast here, like Fort Lauderdale versus like the Boca or Palm Beach area, the water levels are, even in Fort Lauderdale, when it does rain a lot, it like covers some people's docks. So
I had that happen when we just had that recent hurricane little thing that we had, whatever that was that we just had.
What was that? I don't even remember.
Oh God, yeah, right. It's like you just get. It had a name.
They all have names.
It might have been Laura. I think it was. I think it actually had my name. I'm not even sure. And it did. It covered my dock. Like it just came right up over it. And of course, the boater guy was like sending me pictures, and I was saying to myself, okay, that's the first time I've ever owned a dock. Even I was like, okay, is this gonna go like? But it was okay.
Right.
Definitely scary. Definitely scary.
So as Laura mentioned, we're one of the founders of Title Brothers, and we specialize in real estate closings, and my partner Adam and I were attorneys. We also have 3 other attorneys on staff, but we have a few businesses, and we do title insurance, which is great. But we just actually earlier this year launched our insurance company to do property insurance, homeowners and all that type of stuff. So we can kind of work with people and hopefully cut some costs, and also just be able to explain everything in one phone call.
That makes sense. Yeah. So I mean, I know you guys also, are trying to make a bundled package. I know you do mortgages as well, and I get that, and we try to like leave that to our sponsor for that. But I understand like you have like a whole package. So it's nice to be able to go one place for a lot of different things. Makes it a little bit easier. And you can save some money that way as well. So,
it simplifies the process. People get really stressed out. They're
it's like buying a car.
They're moved. Like everyone's busy with work, and it's hard to have time to do your personal stuff. So when you're moving, it's just extra stress on type of like work and family stuff. So our idea to streamline the real estate process was to not only save money for the end client, but also to save time for realtors like Laura, who have so many transactions going on and so much business. You kind of can have peace of mind that there's not so many cooks in the kitchen, so to speak,
Right.
and there's so many people involved touching a file, and for it to basically be under one shop and to be able to leverage to your client, Laura,
Right.
that they can save money, that goes a long way.
So, okay, so for insurance, I think you partnered with somebody that's been in the business for
Yeah.
a really long time.
Right.
Because that, to me, is super important, because insurance, one of the things I've explained to people is not everybody can write with the same carriers.
No.
So you just getting into the business, if you didn't have that relationship, that would be a really big problem.
Right, because now new agencies, a lot of the carriers that have left Florida either have left totally, or they're just not taking on any new agencies to
Right.
write for them. So yes, we partnered with someone, fortunately, that's been in the business for 30 plus years. So he has all the carriers and the appointments that we need. So if anybody can do it, we can do it.
Right.
The good thing is, which I've been explaining to people, don't worry, because insurance cost premiums have just gone up. It is what it
Yeah.
is, but there's always a way to find coverage. It's just you have to just pay for it today,
Right, right.
unfortunately.
So, yeah, so one of the things, and I think this is what you want to keep in mind today from today's show, is that a lot of people are faithful to their insurance agents, but their insurance agents aren't always faithful to them.
Right.
And what do I mean by that? Let me tell you what I mean by that. Do they call you every year and tell you, I'm going to go shop you around. I'm going to find you a cheaper rate. I'm going to see what I can do for you to get your payment lower. No, what happens is, and this has always been the problem, and my husband always says this is the problem with being a realtor, is that I'm not paid on residual. When my deal's over, my deal's over, right? But for me, it's not over. Like I create you to be part of my family and invite you to my parties and all this fun stuff, right? But when you're an insurance agent, they're getting paid every year on the annual renewal. So unless the insurance carrier comes back and says, I'm canceling you, that's when they look at it. But other than that, if you don't call them, they don't call you. And there are those lucky people that nobody touches their policy. Like nobody comes out and says, hey, we're going to raise you. You got some people that are lucky like that. And then you've got the people that come back and you're hearing it all over, like next door. Oh my God, they just raised my premium from $8,000 to $20,000, and people are freaking out. So what I always say is that I understand, and I'm sorry, insurance agents, but I always say to them, like, hey, your insurance agent a lot of times isn't going to go shopping around for you. And maybe you do have that agent, and maybe they do, and they've got that experience, and that's great. But you want to make sure that that is the case, so you do want to go out and shop other places.
Right.
So
yeah, no, it's a big thing. I mean, our whole model is kind of similar to a realtor in the sense, in like, since we are like a one-stop shop, we do. We're not in the business to like have high fees, nickel and dime people. It's all about long-term relationships, and
Right.
to be able to have the real estate agent have the best, because like we're an extension of you. So like if we
Right.
don't do well,
yeah, it's not good.
it's not good. And it's crazy because now when we do work with people on all fronts, we are having sometimes the buyer borrower's friend call us, and then we call it the real estate agent, and that real estate agent might never have known about that new client. But then it's like, oh, so and so referred us, and it's crazy what saving like $1,000 does to people.
Right.
But $1,000 is a lot of money, and it goes a long way.
So if somebody wanted to reach out to you to find out all the other services that you can provide
Yeah.
for them, what would be a really good number, a good website, good email for them to reach you
Yeah.
at?
So the best number would be 561-901-0770. And we actually just rebranded. Maybe we could talk about that later today or another show,
Yeah.
but it would be thetracegroup.com. So THETRES group.com.
THETRES
the Trace, like three, as in like three in Spanish.
I took
Trace.
French.
TRES group.com.
Okay. So what we'll do is when we come back, we'll talk about your rebranding after commercial. Let's go to commercial so we can see your commercial and our sponsors.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
At Title Brothers LLC, our mission is to give you the best closing experience anywhere in the country. Founded in 2020 by Adam Lohman and Josh Weisman, here at Title Brothers, we're your one-stop shop for residential real estate, title insurance, title and escrow services, real estate closing, and due diligence services. While primarily located in South Florida, we also host dozens of closings throughout the state and even electronically as requested. To contact the Title Brothers, call us at 954-995-4988 or visit our website and get a quick quote today.
Whether you're buying, selling, refinancing, or building your dream home, you have a lot riding on your loan specialist. Max Fish, a top 1% mortgage loan officer in the nation, will give you a same-day qualifying quote. Max Fish is committed to providing his customers with mortgage services that exceed their expectations. Ensuring that you make the right choice for you and your family is his ultimate goal. Contact Max Fish today at 954-729-6933 or max.fisch@nwmcorp.net.
You have been watching Making Money with Laura. For more information, contact Laura Sanders at 954-650-0827 or visit her website at theloracell.com. And now back to the show.
Hi, and welcome back to Making Money with Laura Sanders, and I am your host, Laura Sanders. Again, I am a local realtor, have been for over 22 years, helping people buy and sell their homes, helping them save money, and make sure that their home isn't going to fall into an inspection pitfall, or make sure that it's ready in its most marketable way. So if you need help, don't know what to do, I can help you, and we're even offering to help front the money until it's time to close. You can reach me at 954-650-0827. Welcome back, Josh, from Title Brothers, or the Trace Trace Group.
Right.
So let's talk about your rebranding.
Yeah, so the rebrand is, as we were mentioning before, we have a lot of services that we provide. We have the title company, we have our law firm, we have the mortgage company and the insurance company. So we rebranded. We want everyone to know in the community that everything is related and all affiliated. So
what is your law firm doing? So you have real estate law. We know that clearly because I'm a realtor, and that's a good reason for us to be working together. But what else does your real estate group do? Your law group do?
So we typically, as we talk, Title Brothers is a lot of times we're the title company, so we're the closing agent for the transaction. But our law firm sometimes is brought into play if we have to represent an individual who doesn't get to choose the title company. So sometimes the buyer chooses, sometimes the seller chooses. But we actually, exciting news as well, we just brought on, his name is Brendan, and he's actually managing the law firm. He specializes in commercial real estate, and he worked at, like Adam and I did, but for actually longer. He worked for 7-8+ years at one of the top law firms in the country, an AmLaw 50 firm, and worked with some of the biggest.
Is that one over off of Las Olas? Is it the one that?
Which one?
Knight?
No, the firm.
Yeah.
So he worked for a couple of firms, Bryan Cave and Goodwin Proctor, located in New York City.
No, only because I heard that, it was funny, I think Knight firm, whatever, I forget what their full name is, right? That they represent people in the service, right?
Oh.
And, I was told from one attorney, listen, they'll just go after you until there's no tomorrow because they're just so big that they can. And,
oh my God.
You know, and it's over a stupid tenant dispute.
Yeah. Now, his experience, he represented lenders or borrowers in big commercial real estate transactions. So maybe buy some of the biggest developers or Fortune 500 companies with their real estate needs.
Right.
So
Do you think, and I know this is probably like off on a tangent, but you know, a lot of people don't think about this, right? But do you think that like appraisers should be scared that, you know, if the market was to bottom out, that they would, because I've had appraisers tell me like, oh, I can get sued, I could be, you know, the one that's held liable for the fact, you know what I mean? So is that something that you think that appraisers should be scared that like they would be brought into lawsuit if like they appraised a house for something and the buyer ends up going in default? I mean, do you see any of that? Have you seen any of that? No, probably not.
Not
right?
really. And the only type of real estate legal work that we don't do typically is like litigation.
Okay.
We do all transactional stuff.
Right.
We're probably going to have somebody join soon to cover all that because, like, why not?
So you're growing. You're going to be a huge company.
Yeah,
I think people should look out for you on the NASDAQ, right?
We kind of just want to make sure that if Laura, you know, on a Sunday morning has a question, she doesn't need to try to worry about who should I call for this. Like, we kind of can cover everything in the real estate world.
Not even DUIs and driving traffic. Are you going to extend out to that? I mean,
no, probably not. Just specialize in
case I forget to put those paper towels up on the thing as I'm checking out at
anything
Walmart,
in
and now
real
they arrest
estate,
me.
yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm just curious.
But we brought someone in to do like probate stuff and wills and all that because it's all connected to. We refer it out a lot to other attorneys who do that, so it's connected to helping Laura get her deal closed. So.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know what, that would be a good thing, though, to talk about is that when people do buy a home, asking that question, like maybe like a sheet saying, do you have a will or trust? Like, to me, a lot of people don't. I mean, I've seen a lot of crazy things happen. Also,
that they don't have one, you're saying? Or don't
yeah,
know?
They don't have one, or they don't have a trust. They don't have anybody on their bank accounts. Like,
yeah, people are not set up in the best way.
They don't plan to fail, but they fail to plan.
Right. And I personally don't, that's not like in my wheelhouse. I don't really know too much about that, but I defer to the specialist for that.
Right. No, I get it.
Yeah.
You know more about like the contract and, you know, like for instance, you know, what happens on the 30th day if you don't give the loan approval?
Yeah, your buyer could be in hot water because you're saying then they lose
if you don't give it, right.
Yeah, then they could
here's a question.
Their deposit could be on the line.
So can a buyer, I'll give you an example. Can a buyer, I'm going through this right now actually, before I came in here and I just got a call from my transaction coordinator said that she just got a cancellation of contract because it's a VA loan and that the property has termites. Well, it doesn't because we just treated it. So of course it had evidence of, and now it's been treated, so now it's treated. So can the buyer cancel the contract?
So
of course it's a VA loan. The VA requires clear termite.
Right.
I have a clear termite report.
Is your list on the listing?
I'm the listing agent,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the buyer.
I will say that, and I don't care, I'd like to even say her name, the transaction coordinator on the other side, she's a little aggressive.
Really?
Oh my God, she keeps sending cancellations of contract. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like,
but
I think the buyer must be having like second thoughts.
But is so the termites were cleared, so it's fine. But they're.
I even talked to their termite guy, and he's like, "You treated it? Yeah, you're fine."
Are they inside? Like, can they still back out? Are they past due diligence period?
Oh, they're past due diligence period.
Are they past loan approval?
They're not past loan approval because it's.
But they didn't get a denial letter though.
They're saying because we don't have a clear termite, they're canceling it. We gave them. They're saying that on our thing it doesn't see clear. So I'm gonna actually call the termite guy when I leave here because I'm like just floored with like.
Yeah. It seems like that.
They're just trying to get out of the deal.
They're just trying to get out of the deal. But sometimes people just try to pick something that they can and see what you're going to do with it. They're just trying to get out of the deal.
Yeah, I just want everybody to know I'll play chicken much longer than anyone else will.
Yeah.
How
much is there?
I'm here for my client.
Yeah.
You know? I know a lot of times you guys are like, oh, you know, just, you know, and I'm like, no.
No, it's.
You know, I'm here for my client. Like, I'm not, you know.
Well, they're trying to get out of the deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, and before we, what were we talking about?
Which they required us to put a whole new panel in, and we did. And my client just wanted to give a credit And
How many days have you been in escrow for?
oh, well, we had to pull a permit, so we had to get on it right away.
Right.
Obviously more than 10.
Right. Yeah. Well, let me know if you need help.
Anyway.
So yeah, we were talking about the rebranding, right? I forget if I fully answered.
No,
what we
let's go
did.
back to rebranding.
Yeah, we just if you heard before, if I wasn't clear, sorry. The Trace Group, meaning 3 in Spanish, but it's just because we do legal, lending, and insurance. So just kind of happened that the initials of our Tiger Real Estate Solutions group played out into Trace Group. So we said, you know what, it's a lot easier to say that than that full name.
Okay. No,
Yeah.
I mean, it does make sense.
Yeah.
T-R-E-S.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And it just worked out that it ended
just-
up in
right.
Spanish, even though, I mean,
And we couldn't, and also because we were trying to get like our website, like the domain, and it was taken. So then we started playing with the letters, and it just worked out.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what else is kind of going on in your world, though, that you think is important for people to kind of know? I mean, I know you're saying like you're able to offer better deals by utilizing the Trace Group because it's 3 in 1.
Yeah, we can basically not, like, in a transaction when you have a client, especially on the mortgage side, that doesn't qualify, maybe they're close, their debt to income ratio is off a little bit. Everyone needs to make money, right? So no one can't work for free. But since we have multiple revenue streams and ways to,
You can give up other places.
we can try and maybe lower something here or there to make them qualify, and we're able to save deals that
Right.
otherwise wouldn't be able to be saved because we're just trying to get the deal closed again for you, because it
Right.
can turn into referrals and just continue to do more deals. So yeah.
Well, it's good that you're able to do that. So,
Because mortgage companies can't typically call a title company and say, hey, like, waive all your fees, because then the title company would make zero and go out of business. Even though sometimes they try, it's just not. But we can kind of talk.
you're under one rent.
Yeah, we can talk internally and basically say, how can we get this deal to close? But we also look at it as a concierge service too. Like, we're not like just typically just waiving fees. Like, we have competitive fees, but at the same time, it creates a better experience for the client, and also the real estate agent who we continuously work with. It enables them to have more time in their day, which time is more valuable than anything.
Have you thought about adding transaction coordination services to your?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we feel like that we kind of, well,
You're already doing that.
we're
you
already
feel like?
doing that. I feel like that each real estate agent kind of has their own view as like what they like, their own idea of what they like their transaction coordinator to do. I think I've heard some even have them go to like the house to show it.
Well, that's.
Or stuff
that
like that. Yeah.
I'm like, hello.
But a lot of transaction coordinators focus on stuff from the beginning, like critical dates lists and timelines. Like we do that right away. Dana, who's our lead attorney on all our residential transactions, like she opens the deal.
She's been great, just so everybody knows. We've personally dealt with her.
She's the best. She sends that critical dates list within, 30 minutes of getting a contract. So we feel like we're taking care of some of that stuff, which is part of what we like leverage and add value to the realtor.
Okay. And tell us about
Qualia?
Qualia.
Yeah.
I can never get it straight. And
Yeah,
what that's like, because I guess that's where you can go in, where you're always like trying to get a hold of somebody, and you're like, I can't get a hold of any. Not with you. I'm saying
Right.
in general. Like sometimes that happens, right? You can go into Qualia and you can see in real time, like where the transaction's at.
Where it's at, and also like let's just say you thought of something and you're going out for dinner on a Saturday night. If you download the Qualia app, mobile app on your phone, or you can go on the web browser on your phone, you can just like message our whole team. Like we all are copied on everything. So even if
So
Dana,
one person out of like
so even
six
if
might respond.
exactly, it's typically going to be Dana who's running with like the
I guess
processing
Dana
stuff.
doesn't. Do you have any kids, Dana? I'm just curious, just asking.
And then Betsy leads all like the closing stuff. So anytime a transaction is usually within like 7 to 10 days before closing, Betsy kind of takes over and does a lot of the coordination with the bank and just make sure that the deal's going to close. But yeah, we all see all the Qualia messages. So you could write, you could ask like, what should we maybe do for an addendum, and we all get an alert.
Right. Okay, that's awesome. So
Yeah.
tell us what's the best way for somebody to get you again, just because you've got some new branding,
Yeah.
so that we can make sure they can get a hold of you.
Yeah, so you can call me at 561-901-0770 or check our website out at thetracegroup.com. And or you could reach me at josh@thetracegroup.com.
Josh at the Trace. Okay, I got to remember this now too.
Yeah.
Josh, thank you so much for coming today.
Thank
we
you
really
for having
appreciate
me.
it. Thank you for joining us on Making Money with Laura Sanders, and I am your host, Laura Sanders. Again, if you need a top agent, thinking about buying or selling, need help getting that repair done, and don't have the cash up front, give me a call, 954-650-0827. Have a great day.
Thank you for tuning in for Making Money with Laura Sanders, a name you can trust. To join the conversation, call us at the studio, 888-994-4995 Studio A, or contact Laura directly at 954-650-0827. Laura Sanders, a name you can trust. We look forward to seeing you next week.